Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 U.S. destroyer, Benson. It has 4 guns, 10 torpedoes, 12 AA guns, and has a top speed of 39 knots. We are on the map Islands of Ice, and I've spawned with a teammate on comms, also in a Benson, on the south side of the map, so we're able to work together in our strategy. It's about 1 in every 6 games where I get to actually spawn on the same side of the map. I would love if wargaming would make that a priority, because we do strategize together to make it a better chance for our team's success. But I digress. I spawned in. Obviously, I move forward. I want to scout the enemy, see what they're doing, and decide, based on what I see, an enemy destroyer popped up on my radar for half a second. He's behind that large island on the left side. And an enemy battleship is firing on a friendly somewhere. So my plan is to get in range to use my torpedoes. Once I've used my torpedoes, I will find an isolated target and do damage to them. If the enemy destroyer is interested in fighting, I will definitely fight him. I feel very confident in an equal fight that I can take out a destroyer without dying. I just played the class so much. I try and aim for the center mass. I try and get the most damage I can, and I'm just ready to fight him. So an enemy scout plane has come over, gave away my position, my strategy, but the AA guns are very effective at close range, and we're able to kill it. So he probably just popped that within 30 seconds, so he has to wait, 5-6 minutes before he can do it again. So there's an advantage for us. There's no carriers on the map, so we really don't need to worry about aircraft harassing us or our friendlies. Whenever the carrier isn't on the map, it really does change the way you can play the game. Battleships are allowed to spread out more and move away from the friendly cruisers, who usually provide close air support. Usually on my battleship, I am scared to death of carriers because they seem to always want to kill me. But the battleships in this game have a great opportunity to take out enemy cruisers. And this guy looks like he's having a bad day. And you didn't see that. I didn't shoot right into the side of an island. He looks like he's got a bad day, and he's probably going to be finished off. Yes, he is. A friendly gets him dead. Actually, my friend who's on comms with me got it. So he's got 1 kill to my 0. We're going to fix that. And yep, the enemy destroyer is over there hiding behind the island. It looks like he's decided to come out and play. My friendly cruiser is too far forward. I really wish he wouldn't be there. I believe he's the Kitakami. He looks like the Kitakami. Either that or he's a low-tier ship. Japanese low-tier ship to me. When you play the game a lot, I've read this, oh, everything looks the same. Well, you know what? I can see, just playing the game a lot, yep, it's certainly a Kitakami. And he's certainly going to die to the Sims because of what the torpedoes coming at him. When you play the game a lot, you get familiar with the silhouettes of the ships. They all have little, modules on their decks that make them unique. Yes, you can use alt. Yeah, you can do that. Sometimes, if I'm rewatching or I'm not 100% aware, I can just go off of what I see. And you also want to find weak points in these enemies. And this is a race between me killing it with my torpedoes and me killing it with my guns, and the guns win. The guns on the U.S. destroyers are, of course, great, but they seem to have a slow velocity. So you have to keep that in mind. At long range, it's a very hard shot. A lot of times you have to aim so far ahead of the enemy, they're not even on your screen. So I would generally use the U.S. destroyer guns just like the Japanese destroyer guns. Fire on your enemy when he's within 9 kilometers or so, or if he's completely isolated, go ham, because he's not going to have the extra benefit of friendly shooting at you. You only have to deal with one. And this guy thought he knew where I was, but I dodged it. So these two enemies are moving on the south side, and this battleship on my left side doesn't appear to be moving. He could be AFK, he could have crashed. I don't know his situation, but I'm not going to not take advantage of it. Yeah, that's right. Nope. So we fire on the torpedoes, and I'm probably not going to hit him. My initial plan was to go after the cruiser that was moving, but of course he dodges. He moves instantly away. Should have read the situation better. So these torpedoes are just in the ocean, and they're not going to get to the enemy. And I see my friendly on the mini-map. He's also moving close to that AFK battleship. I think he's going to get in range to use his torpedoes, which is fine. But we have failed with our torpedoes, and we want to avoid those two ships in the south, but also avoid the ships in the north. So we're going to move towards this Iowa. If he survives the torpedo attack from the friendly, then I plan to help finish him off. The Benson has a great rate of fire. I've got Pyromaniac, so I've got a higher chance to set the enemy on fire. That's really what you're trying to work for when you are a US destroyer or even a Japanese destroyer. With the small caliber, they have a lower chance of lighting the target on fire, something like 5 to 10%. So you really got to land a lot of rounds to have the chance to set the opponent on fire higher than like minuscule. So the friendly hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like they've caused flooding. So I'm going to just open up on this guy. He's not moving. It's a really hard target to hit, guys. And I'm aiming for center mass. Someone sets him on fire. That's great. We just unload on this guy. You can just see this rate of fire. If you're able to do damage to modules above the hull, it's really noticeable the kind of damage you do. And I believe, because I still have the target hit clicker on the side, it's not telling me the damage I'm doing. And the friendly finishes him off. So now there's only 2 enemies in the east. And it looks like there are 4 enemies near the cap on the north side. They've killed 4 of us, when earlier we had like a 4-to-1 advantage. So you gotta really be careful. The enemy can come back. You know, there could be a high tier ship that could carry. And, you know, right now in closed beta, there's a huge gap in the tiers. Sometimes you'll be 5 tier difference. But in the full game, in a higher population, you really need to carry if you're the high tier. And if you're the low tier, you really need to be careful. You will die very quickly. I'm taking a lot of shots here because he's broadside. But I'm able to use damage control and I pop my smoke. But yeah, as a low tier, you really need to be a harasser. You really need to provide your guns, but don't take damage. Sort of like a destroyer. And a friendly sets him on fire. I'm sure he's... For some reason, he puts the fire out. So now he's going to flood. Unless he's still immune. But we're able to finish him off with a combination of guns and torpedoes. So, 6-5. I don't believe we're going to fully cap. But we need to deal with the enemies in the north. They are becoming too much of a threat. So me and my friend are going to head there. 2 kills each. It's anybody's game on who's going to be the better player. But I think we know who's going to be the better player. Just saying. So, we've lost control of the base. Either a combination of friendly taking fire or leaving the cap. Base is now basically reset. Friendly battleship is taking fire. And he's set on fire. And he's got 3 enemies that can fire on him, which is unfortunate. I'm trying to get there as fast as I can to support him. But he's just out in the open, and he can't really defend himself. And the kind of damage he does, he really can't put a threat of death to them. Although it does look like he just killed that guy, which is awesome. So now it's only 5 ships left, but he dies to all of the enemy fire. I shall avenge you, my battleship. So this Ibuki Tier 9 Japanese cruiser is facing me. So he could have used torpedoes in an effort to try and attack that battleship. So I want to be very aware of my surroundings. I don't want to get too focused. I either go zooming in with sniper, and there they are. There's those torpedoes. But I do know one thing. He won't have torpedoes if I get closer. So I can safely use every advantage I have and not worry too much about his spacing. Now, if he turns around 180, then it's an issue. But for him to do that, he would have to give up a lot of defense. And the Uki, along with Megami and the Zao, are very long ships. They're almost as long as Japanese battleships, which are like the longest ships in the game. So you gotta be... Turning is not as easy as, say, my destroyer. And it looks like he was looking to the right. So I can take advantage of this. I'm gonna keep firing on him. The battleship is behind an island, and the other battleship does have a shot on me, but it's a long-range shot on the destroyer. Good luck landing that shot, bud. We set him on fire. We're just gonna go to town on this guy. He seems to be just sailing, oblivious of us. So we send out torpedoes, see if we can do damage. And we're gonna kill his scout plane. And look at that lag. I really can't wait for them to go open beta and get on the full servers, because the servers that North America are sitting on the West Coast servers, and they're notorious for having issues with the...
We destroyed an enemy cruiser.
The ping loss, packet loss. I see this guy, and I send out the second set. I now have to wait for my torpedoes to come back off of cooldown. His back guns are looking at me, and sure enough, he wants to fire on me. I don't want to stay. And his front guns are ready. They're going to aim. He's going to fire any second now. Any second now, battleship. And there we go. We get some good shots on his upper part of his ship. And he misses just short. Now he has to wait. Sit there and take all my damage for 20 seconds. On these little AG rounds to hit his hull, and he's able to avoid the torpedoes. Probably a combination of maneuvering and just the sheer lack of speed that US battleships have. My friend sends out torpedoes, and the smoke is going to help screen these torpedoes until the very last moment. As a battleship, it's going to be in your best interest to skill up the Tier 4 ability that allows you to spot torpedoes farther away. I believe that's a critical Tier 4 for battleships. Now, if torpedoes are just complete crap, we'll change them. What's relevant, but my friend's torpedoes miss completely, so it's just down to the guns. And boy, do these guns have a high rate of fire. I'm very excited to get to the gearing, and there's some more lag. I just love how it just instantly jumps the cursor. And my torpedoes miss too. And we dodge. We're good. And we're outside of his range of secondary, so this is the best scenario for me. And we're able to land our last shot and kill him. He does minimal damage to us. And we're able to dodge this island. Whew. And run aground. There's still time to run aground, though. There's only one enemy battleship left. We are 4-1. In this scenario, if he wins, he will have earned the Solo Warrior medal. You have to take on at least 4 enemy ships and survive in a solo environment. Now, initially I thought you gotta kill 4. No, if you win the game, it counts just as the same. This guy, we're not gonna let him get that medal. It's a huge embarrassment. 4v1, 50% of it is me and my friend on comms. We're full communication of our strategy. Hell no. This is North Carolina. I'm getting real close. Torpedoes are ready. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Or at least attempt to. I looked and saw that he was going so fast that it's not even worth it. He killed one friendly. He's 25% there. Solo Warrior. The secondaries are going off crazy. Send out my torpedoes. If I have to sacrifice my friend, I will gladly sacrifice my friend for victory. So his torpedoes land. We set him on fire. I don't know if he's flooding, but he's using a repair, it looks like, a little bit. And then my friend finishes him off. And there you go. Between the two of us, we were able to get 7 kills. That was not my first one of the day, obviously. We were able to do a lot of damage. We were able to take out a lot of ships. And we were able to just control the tempo of this game. Destroyers are great at being a threat to everyone. I hope you enjoyed seeing this Benson gameplay, and I'll catch you guys next time.